friends, welcome back to week 7, day 5 of our fractions math review. Today, I hope you've done your freckle math practice. And for materials today, you need nada, zero, zilch, nothing. So you can just sit back and enjoy your video review with Mrs. Jones and myself.
All right, are you ready? Let's go. All right, the first thing we're going to take a look at was a skill that we worked on last week on Monday, and it was just about breaking apart what is a fraction. So taking a look at our first shape, we see a rectangle, and it says this rectangle has how many equal parts? And one of the things that we notice is that those pieces are all equal. Now, so how many equal parts? So I can take a look and I can count each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I would write right in this box, it has 6 equal parts. It is divided into, now remember when we say fractions, it's like we're going into a grade. I don't go into 3 grade, I go into 3rd grade. I need the ending there. So if I say 6, I don't say we're going into 6th grade, we are going into 6th grade. It's divided into 6. So one part is called, which would be my unit fraction, is called 1/6. So each one of these pieces is worth 1/6. Now, looking at my circle, I can see how many pieces are in there. I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd split into 4 equal parts. So I would write 4 for 4 equal parts. And it's divided into, what grade are we going into next year? We're leaving 3rd grade and we're going into 4th grade. Woohoo! So I would write 4th grade. And one piece is called 1/4. Back to you, Mrs. Morgan.
Thanks, Mrs. Jones. So here we're going to take a look at parts of a group. So we know that we can have fractions where we take the shapes like Mrs. Jones did and break them into pieces, or we can look at a group of things and make fractions with those. So if we take a look at this first one, I am looking at the flowers and it's asking me to represent 1/5 of 5. So how many flowers is that? Well, let's take a look at our flowers. How many do you see? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1/5 of 5. If I were to draw that in, I would have 1 flower, right? So it would be 1 of the group. If I go over and I take a look at our ants, our lovely little ants, we're wanting 1/3 of 15. So how many ants would I have in 1/3? Well, if I take a look at my ants, how can I easily break this into thirds? Well, how many rows do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of like an array, right? I have 5 rows, so I don't think I can break it into rows. How about columns. How about rows? I have 1, 2, and 3. Oh, so if I did 1/3, if I circled my ants, how many is in that one group? Well, I would have 1, 2. Where did it go? Ooh, there it is. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1/3 of 15 is 5 ants. Back to you, Mrs. Jones.
All right, moving on. I was wondering if that was going to stay.
It did. Look at that. Let me erase mine.
Come on, shoo,
I'm
ants.
trying. It's not working.
All right. Now we are looking at comparing fractions, and this is really easy to do if I gave you shapes. So if I take these shapes, I can easily, now the first one says 2/5, so I'm going to color in 2 pieces. So I'm going to color this in, and my next one says 3/5, so I'm going to color in 3 pieces. And I can look right at that shape and say, which one is bigger? Or which way am I going? So you can clearly see that I would go, which way? Which way, Mrs. Morgan? Oh, beautiful. I'm going to go this way. Open my alligator mouth this way. Now, I look over at my next one, and it says 1/7 and 6/7. Now, I can see, my denominators are the same. So I might not even color this one in. I can see, okay, so looking at this, I had 1 piece of pizza. And over here for breakfast, then I had 6 slices of pizza. Which one did I eat more? I can clearly color it in and see, or I could just kind of look at that and see the numerator. I'm going this way. Now, looking at my bottom, I see a number 2/2. And we all know if I see the same number on top as the same number on bottom, that's a whole thing. That is 1. So 2/2 tells me that it is 1. It means I ate the whole gosh darn pizza. I look at the next one and it says I ate 1/2 of the pizza. I ate the whole pizza or I ate a half a pizza. You know it. That one is bigger. Now, looking again at my other fraction, and like I said, if we look and the denominators are the same, and I see a 10 and a 10, I look at my numerators. Which numerator number is higher, 7 or 5? I'm not even going to color, and I bet Mrs. Morgan can figure this one out without even me coloring. What do you think, Mrs. Morgan? Beautiful. Fantastic. Now, moving along again. What happens if I don't have shapes? Oh my gosh, I have no shapes to color. My denominators aren't the same. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to butterfly. All right, so I'm going to butterfly, and we are going to cross multiply. And when we cross multiply, we are going to go bottoms up. So let's go. We're going to circle these up, and we're going to go bottoms up and bottoms up. And I'm going to multiply. Which way again? Oh, bottoms up. Woo! In the dark. Shoo! Coming back at you. All right, I'm going to multiply bottoms up. So 6 times 4 is 24. 8 times 3 is 24. Oops. These numbers are the exact same. Mrs. Morgan went in the dark too. Come on back. These are the same. So I'm going to say these are equal. Looking at my next one, I can clearly see because my denominators are the same. So I'd look at the numerator. 2. Is a 2 bigger than a 1? Darn tootin'. So I'm going to go without even multiplying crossed. I know which one's bigger. Now I look down here at the bottom. 2/6 and 2/3. I'm going to cross multiply that one and check that one out. Bottoms up, bottoms up. 6 times 2 is, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. So I've got 12 up top. 3 times 2, let's see, 3, 6. That would be a 6. 6 and a 12, which one's bigger? Going that way. Looking at 1/8 and 2/6. Cross multiply, butterfly. 2 times 8, 6 times 1, bottoms up. 8 times 2, let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Get my other hand up here. 12, 14, and 16. Whew, that was a close one. And 6 times 1 is, easy peasy, 6. Which one? You know it. All right, moving on to some fractions on a number line. Back at ya.
Thanks, Mrs. Jones. All right, so we're going to take a look at fractions on a number line. And not only are we going to look at the fractions on a number line, but first I want to take a look at actually breaking our rectangles up into the fractions and representing them that way first. So if we take a look at the first one, 3/4. We know the denominator tells us how many pieces we need to break the total rectangle into. So I'm going to break my total rectangle into 4 pieces. So let me go ahead And remember that we just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I want to represent 3 of those 4 pieces. I'm going to shade in 3. 1, 2, 3 pieces. So, oh, there it goes again. So when I come over to my number line, because the denominator tells me that I need to break it into 4 pieces, when I break up my number line, it needs to be 4 pieces. But remember, there are 4 spaces, not just the markers. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set my 0 and my 1. That's like the outside of the rectangle. That's like this guy here. Now from in here is where I want to put my 4 spaces. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to break it up the best I can. I'm just by eyeballing it. And I'm going to count the spaces over. So this would be 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So right here is where I would mark my, whoa, I didn't know that. 3/4. There we go. So I've counted those spaces. So now if we come down and we take a look at our second fraction, we're looking at 5/6. Again, we're taking that box and we're breaking it into 6 equal pieces the best we can. So let's try to break that up. And the numerator tells us how many spaces we need to shade in. So the numerator is telling us we need to shade 5 spaces in. So if we shade those spaces in the best we can, 3, 4, 5, there we go. All right, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to show 5, 6 on our number line over here. So I'm going to make my end markers like the ends of my rectangles with that 0 and my 1. And I know that this middle part is where I'm going to break it into 6 equal spaces. And remember, the best we can just by eyeballing it. And we'll come back and we will count our spaces. Okay. We will count our spaces. 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6. And we would end it right here. So 5, 6. It's represented right there on our number line. Easy peasy, right?
Beautiful
All
job.
Right, let me erase before we move on. Because we know that didn't work.
That was some good work, Mrs. Morgan.
Thanks, Mrs. Jones. Come on. Goodness.
I wish I could help you.
I know. It's a lot of work to erase, too. Woof. Get out of there. There we go. We're almost there. My goodness.
Shoot. All right.
There we go.
Moving on.
All right. One more look at fractions on a number line. So this time it didn't give us the fraction. We have to figure it out. So we have our end markers of 0 and 1 on either side. So we need to count the spaces between the markers to find out where does the letter B, what fraction does the letter B represent? So let's count the total number of spaces to get our denominator, and then we'll go back and count over to get our numerator. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're dealing with fifths. So if I write that in, I'm going to write my fraction line, fraction bar. Now we're going to go back and we're going to count to see what our numerator would be. So 1 space, 2 space, 3 spaces. So we're talking about 3 fifths. So B would represent 3 fifths on this top number line. So now let's go to the bottom number line and take a look. Again, we have our 0 and our 1 for our markers. We're going to count the total number of spaces all the way across here to get our denominator. And then we'll go back and we'll count over to get our numerator. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go ahead and write fourths because that's what we're working with. And then we'll count over for our numerator. 1 space, 2 space. So it would be 2/4 is what C represents on our number line.
Pretty perfect.
Let me erase my work again. Maybe.
Looks good. Whew. All right, and now we're on to our last part of equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions means that my fractions are the same. They are equal. And you can even see clearly I've got my little equal sign in here. So that's telling me that both sides are the exact same thing. But I don't have any pictures here. So how am I going to figure this out? Looking at these, we learned that I could multiply a number because I know that any number over itself, so like 2 over 2 is 1. Or let's see, 5 over 5 is 1. And I know if I multiply 1 times any number, I get the same thing. I get that number. So in fractions, it kind of works the same way. If I multiply by a fraction of 1, which would be like 2 over 2, I know that my number or my fraction on the other side is going to be the same thing. They're going to be equal. Oh, okay. So, let's see. 3 times what would give me 6? So 3 times 2. So if I multiply 3 times 2, what I do to the bottom, I do to the top because I'm multiplying by a fraction of 1. So what is 1 times 2? 1 times 2 is 2. So 2/6 is equal to or equivalent to 1/3. Aha. Now let's hop over here. We see 6 going to 12. So 6 times what gave me 12? Sounds like a doubler to me. So 6 times 2, what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So I'm going to multiply the top times 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. So 1/6 is equal to or equivalent to 2/12. Piece of cake. All right, hop down to the bottom. We have, here we go. All right. Back down to the bottom. 3 times what gives me 9? 3 times, let's see, 3, 6, 9. So that is 3 times 3. So if I multiply the bottom times 3, I multiply the top times 3. I knew you were coming. I multiply the top times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. Outstanding. Whoop, get in there. Now, this one, 4 times what gives me 6? That doesn't work. I'm done then. No, I'm not. I talked to you guys before about doing a butterfly technique. So I know if this is equivalent, I know that my cross multiplies are going to be the same. Whoop, whoop. So let's do a little cross multiply here. So I know that 6 would multiply by 2, my butterfly, and 4 times what? I don't know. So 6 times 2 is 12, and 4 times what gives me 12? My gosh, I can skip count that so easy. Ready? Here we go. 4, 8, 12. What? 3. Oops. So this is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. And they are equal. Oh my goodness. Mrs. Morgan, that's the end. We are finito.
No way.
Do you know what? I love ice cream. And I love ice cream because we're going into the summer. Oh, that is so yummy. Don't you agree?
It is very yummy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That could be our word for this week. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Let's put it down. So what are we going to use?
Yummy.
Yummy?
Is that what we said?
Oh my gosh, that is perfect. So yummy and yummy. That's absolutely perfect. Fantastic. All right, now after that amazing review, you are going to get on your quizzes to play a Quizizz review game, and you'll have all of your information on fractions.
Hey, Mrs. Jones, wouldn't it be nice if we couldn't celebrate like the end of our math review some way?
That would be pretty awesome because this is our last video with, like ice cream would be fantastic. Oh, Mrs. Morgan, where did you go? Mrs. Morgan, are you there? Where have you gone? Hello? Hello?
Did somebody say ice cream?
I sure did. Hey, cheers. Cheers. To math videos being done. Woohoo! See you guys later.
Bye.